Oh my God.
Welcome back to a new edition of the Unofficial Commentators. I caught you, Jay. I caught you sipping on some really good beer, man. That looks delicious. Glad to be back. I was out for hurricane reasons, then health reasons. It's been a hectic couple of weeks, man, but I'm glad to be back. Jay, what do you got, man? What's up with you, bro?
Man, the sports scene is hot, hot, hot. Not much unlike the New York City, man, which is burning up at 80 something degrees. There's actually some humidity. I got some slightly warm armpits up in here, man. This is a it's,
That's my everyday life, man.
man. There's some moistness to my armpits, but I'm here, man. I'm excited. The Like I said, man, the sports world is heating up. We have baseball news, we have football news, we have basketball, some kneeling, some fights. It's all over the place. It's just sports are just coming at you, come just all over the place. Boom,
I
boom,
know,
boom,
man,
boom.
and I got to give it to you and Dago. You guys held it down really awesome without me, and I got to say, listening to the episode is just so tough not being in one because I just want to talk about everything. But before we even get started, man, I got to give a huge shout out to that Kingsman: The Golden Circle movie. I saw it yesterday in the premiere. Awesome action movie. I loved it. I loved it. I'm actually looking forward to seeing it again, man, and I'll definitely recommend it.
So, dude, I bought this thing that they got going on here called the Movie Pass. I believe that's the name, Movie Pass. I'm still waiting for the thing to get here, but in theory, it's an amazing little product there. You pay $10 a month, not unlike Netflix, and then you can actually go to the movies and watch like brand new movies as they come out. One movie per day. I mean, you don't really get that many movies every weekend, so you can pretty much stay up to date on every single movie. So you better believe that I'm going to be watching and recommending a lot more than I am right now. A lot of
Awesome.
people are tuning into Ozark now after I went on Instagram and endorsed it. They either answered directly on the Instagram or hit me on the side and said, like, "Is it really that good?"
It
Like,
is.
yeah, man, it's really that good. I watched it. I binge watched it. I started watching it on a Friday night, and I had to go straight through until Sunday. Um, and yeah, man, it was worth every minute of it. Some people compared it to a Breaking Bad. I would say that it's kind of a Breaking Bad light, but without all the boring parts. Like everything about Ozark, I enjoyed.
Yeah, I think I talked about Ozark because I started watching it as soon as it came out on Netflix. I was really impressed by it. I loved it. I still haven't finished it though because I kind of got hooked into Narcos in between there, and then I had to binge watch Narcos, which I did.
Well, I actually
All
saw last season of Narcos, and then it said like because you like this one, watch this, and I'm like, okay, you
yeah,
do
man,
me
but
so well, Netflix.
it's totally recommended. So let's keep the Ozark talk for another episode, so we keep the spoilers away from myself. Sorry. So, yeah. So, all right, man. We got a lot to talk about today. You said it yourself, sports. So that means we got to crunch a whole bunch of shit into 1 hour.
Woo! Let's get right to it then. In the world of sports, topic number one, as presented to us by our awesome super producer Dago, we have that Aaron Judge breaks the rookie record for home runs. What do you think of that?
He broke Mark McGuire's record. What I'm impressed the most is that it lasted so long, man. That record, I think it was like in 1985 that McGuire established it.
I believe it was
No,
87, exactly 30 years.
87. There you go. I mean, it was not a surprise. Aaron Judge has been pretty much smoking the bat the entire year. He went through a slight slump. He came back, but it's Yankee Stadium. It's easy to get power. He's huge. He looks like a football player. I just hope he continues to show this throughout his entire year. I'm just hoping it's not a one year wonder. One hit wonder.
You mentioned smoking bat. I think it's a shout out to the cousin Juan.
Shout out to cousin Juan.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm also impressed by this. I'm surprised also that it wasn't broken sooner. I mean, 49 home runs doesn't seem all that extraordinary. I mean, I guess there's kind of shell shock in terms of coming into the Major League Baseball and seeing Major League Baseball pitching versus whatever the hell it was that you were seeing.
Yeah.
But some of these minor league numbers are so incredibly amazing that I'm surprised that it took this long for them to break a record. Now, I think there's still a few more games to be played, and if there are, hopefully he adds a little bit to it so that he makes it even more unreachable. I mean, whenever a Yankee has any kind of record and people are chasing it, they're always much more exciting.
Of course, man. It's the New York Yankees, bro. I mean, it is a big deal. A big shout out to Aaron Judge for doing it in the spotlight. And this is just another record for the Yankees, bro, to have on their book.
One
Ano-
more.
yeah, another jewel in their crown, man, for sure.
All right, so there's something here about MLB playoff outlook. I think Doug and I kind of touched on it last week. I know some more teams qualified now for the playoffs, but it is what it is. Until I actually see the final lineups and how they're going to play out, I don't know how I feel about any of this yet.
Well, it's looking like it's going to be Yankees and Minnesota for the wild card in the American League. I don't think any of the other teams are going to be able to catch up. Cleveland, Boston, and Houston, they already clinched their division, so they're in. Yankees got home field advantage. I don't see how the Yankees can screw this up, bro. The Yankees should be able to um, pass by Minnesota. They should be able to get the job done. They're a much better team. They have a much better pitching staff. They definitely have better hitting, and they have home field advantage. So that would put, assuming the New York Yankees come through as they're supposed to, check this out. This is going to be fun. And they win the wild card. Their
Right.
first round matchup will be against the Boston Red Sox, man. So a revival of the rivalry
Much
after
anticipated.
the Yankees missed the playoffs a couple of years, man. This would be awesome for baseball and awesome for New York, man. You have Aaron Judge after the year he's had. You've had the Cy Young race between Boston, Chris Sale, and Corey Kluber in Cleveland. And you put Chris Sale, you put the Yankees, you put Aaron Judge, all of that in the playoffs, in a breaking record season or record breaking season. I'm sorry, and this is fireworks in the making, bro. In the National League, though, it's a little bit more confusing because the cousin Milwaukee still haven't settled who's going to win the division. Although mathematically, Milwaukee's still alive. I think Chicago should run away with that. The Dodgers smoked it. The Washington smoked it. They already smoked their division. You got Arizona clinching a wild card. So the next wild card is between Milwaukee and the Cubs. Whoever loses that division, and Colorado. I'm guessing whoever wins the Central is going to be the Cubs passes, and the wild card would be between Arizona and Colorado. Two small market teams. Nobody's going to care about this in the East. It's two West Coast teams. They're going to be late as fuck no matter where the games are played. So they're going to be tough to watch. But Arizona has been better throughout the entire year, although Colorado has been impressive. Check this out. A team in Colorado with an actual decent pitching staff. Well, who would have thought? It's never happened. Young, but it's young pitching. So I'm gonna go with Arizona on this one. That would mean Arizona would face the Chicago Cubs, who, after a miracle, magical season they had last year, they're looking so beatable this year. I don't think they're gonna get past the Dodgers or the Nats, assuming they get past whoever wins the wild card. But check this out. My prediction sticks, bro. Cleveland Indians in the World Series.
They're still
I
alive.
said that since day one, and I'm sticking to it. And although many people think it's the Dodgers, I still think it's gonna be the Nationals in the World Series for the National League, man. Their pitching staff is not as good as the Dodgers in regular season, but come playoff time, I think they're better. And the Dodgers are so young. This is like the Cubs all over again 2 years ago. Everybody's like the Cubs are so young, they're so awesome. They got killed by the Mets in 2015. And then they came back with more experience. They got a little bit better, and then they had that magical season. So I'm still sticking with my original prediction from day one, which I've never gotten right in my entire life, and I've never gotten this far with it either. Cleveland Indians, Washington Nationals in the World Series.
Well, for what it's worth, my picks are still alive. I think I had the Cubs and the Red Sox. Nobody saw the Yankees coming, quite honestly.
Nobody.
Oh,
Nobody.
oh, diehards will say that they saw this happening, but yeah, right. Nobody saw the Yankees coming. I thought this would be a great year of offense, but a terrible year of pitching. They've made it an art form to only bring out a starter for 4, even 5 innings, and then just kind of take it over from there with one inning specialist from 6 to 9. Um, and don't ever discount just the absolute power that comes from hitting in that short porch at right field. So amazing. Even then, oh, there's a fire truck coming. Hold on.
That's because you're talking about the Yankees. They're on fire.
They on fire. Oh, and by the way, Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
which is, it's funny that you do the thumbs down thing because I was just about to talk about this. The Yankees' success, although it is due a lot because of the success of Aaron Judge and the young Yankees. What's the name they got for them? The young Bombers? What is it they call these guys? The baby Bombers? I don't know. But not just that, you got to give a huge shout out to Brian Cashman. Even though so many people were complaining about him, you get Todd Frazier in there to fortify the corner infielders, and you get David Robertson back to fortify your bullpen. And I say get him back because remember he used to be a Yankee. Those were two key add-ons for the Yankees that have really showed to give them a lot of success. So big shout out to Brian Cashman. I still hate Girardi. Big shout out to Aaron Judge. Yeah, I'm not gonna give credit to Girardi. I don't care what Yankee fans say. I can't. I just can't. I don't like his face. But Brian Cashman, he did what he had to do. The farm system is better than ever, which is great, and they're in great position to add a hot free agent next year. Who knows? Maybe Manny Machado can go back to could not go back, can go to the Yankees as many people predict he will. They can shitload of cash on him, just dump it there.
I heard that Todd Frazier was really a rental, so why not bring on Machado?
Yeah, of course.
And um, this wasn't on our list of topics to talk about today, but I just want to get your thoughts on the owners voted overwhelmingly and unanimously to sell the Miami Marlins. I almost called them Florida Marlins to that Derek Jeter-led group of owners. Have any thoughts on that?
I think it's awesome. And I think it's even more awesome that Derek Jeter is firing everybody. He went full Donald Trump on the Marlins already, and he hasn't even gotten, like, officially the Marlins title of the owner. Dude, the Marlins have been a laughing stock since Joe Girardi won them a chip a few years ago, about a decade ago. And it's retarded that they win a chip. They've done this. They did it back in '97. They did it with Girardi. They win a championship, and they go into complete irrelevancy. They cannot build an actual franchise. It's ridiculous. Get everybody out of there. There's a bunch of people who ain't doing shit. Start from scratch and actually build something. You have Miami is a city with so much potential, and the Marlins are just throwing it to waste.
Some,
And
some, yeah, some would say that things a lot of movement in the NBA over the weekend, man. Melo got his long-awaited trade in Oklahoma City. That pairs him up with Russell Westbrook, pairs him up with PG-13. They have a pretty decent center in Steven Adams. They'll probably start Luke Robertson at the shooting guard for his defense. Is this the team that the shooting guard for his defense? Is this the team that scares you?
you meant and Robertson. The team was the best, and I ever done it before, but I'll apologize against Carmelo. I did put a lot of hate on him, but then I realized it was Phil Jackson's fault. Melo went to suffering in Madison Square Garden. He put it all out there. I don't think any Knicks fan can complain about Carmelo actually wanting to leave. It wasn't fair the way they treated him at the end. 6 years, 6 All-Star games. I know he didn't go to as many playoffs as we wanted to, but let's be honest, did they really give him any help? The year that he did have help, they were a second seed. So going back to Oklahoma City, the bench is strong. Russell Westbrook has a couple of starters around him. So going back to Oklahoma City, the bench is strong. Russell Westbrook has a couple of starters around him. This is really funny because you all know that I'm a Russell Westbrook. I'm gonna say Russell Westbrook hater. I just don't like his style of game. I've never liked that type of I'm gonna do it all type of basketball player. Everybody was like, but he made it to 46 wins and he made it to a 6 seed and he was all on his own. I'm like, yeah, but he had KD and KD left because of his game style. So it's not like he's never played with someone. Now he has people again.
KD left because he handled the pressure. KD left because he handled the pressure.
That's bullshit. Can't handle the pressure. He won a chip on. He put Golden State on his shoulders, man. Come on.
Get the hell out of here.
He put Golden State on his shoulders.
That team would have won without him.
But they won even better with him. That's the point.
They won even better with him. What does that even say?
That he's really good. But the point is, I can't wait to see what's going to be everybody's excuse when Oklahoma City fails drastically.
Okay, so you're predicting they fail drastically?
Oh yeah, they will. They will. They're gonna.
What's a drastic fail there for you?
A drastic failure is getting eliminated by the second round and not even making it to a game 7 in the second round.
Why is that a fail? I mean, that's definitely an improvement over last year.
Oh, that's what you're. So that's what you're looking for. Second round exit. When you pay for 2 guys that are going to be free agents and they're costing you a shitload of money.
Now what did you really trade?
$40 million, and it doesn't matter what you traded, but you got back nothing. Then, if you don't turn this into a championship run, then you got nothing. Because I don't think neither of these guys are going to stay in Oklahoma City. I don't think they can afford any of them. They're $40 million on luxury tax this year, for a small market team, that's too much. That team's probably going to have losses by the end of the year. So,
So I wouldn't put anything past this team and this manager. You know, he's proven that he can pull off miracles when he really sets his mind to it. I did not see the Carmelo move happening. I didn't see the Paul George move happening for that matter. And he pulled them both off. So put nothing past Sam Presti. That dude is a true mafioso.
no, no, of course. Of course, you know what's going to be interesting. What's going to happen with Billy Donovan? How he's going to handle these stars? That's going to be
He's the
key.
Midwest Godfather is what he is.
And believe it or not, I'm not worried about Melo. I'm not worried about Melo one bit. Melo showed he can play with stars in Team USA, and that's when he's played the best. He's a great team player, even though because look at the situation he's in. Everybody's like, oh, he's always looking for his shot. He's playing ISO, but he's normally playing with bums. That wasn't the case when he played with Jason Kidd or when he played with Allen Iverson in Denver. So I'm not worried about Melo. I'm worried about Paul George and Russell Westbrook. We know that's Russell Westbrook's team. Everybody knows. How's Paul George react when he's not the one getting the shot? Remember how he was in Indiana? Everybody knows I'm supposed to get the shot. And Russell Westbrook starts missing these shots at the end of the game. How is Paul George going to handle it? I don't know. There's so many questions. Well, I just can't wait, man.
Well, traditionally, Carmelo Anthony is notoriously better at taking those last-minute shots. He's the most clutch of those three.
Do you really think Russell Westbrook's going to give it to him, though?
I wouldn't put it past him. He wants to play with these players. He wants to play with these guys. Not only that, listen, I was listening to Royce Young on the Dan Levitard show, and he was saying that by October he fully expects Russell Westbrook to re-sign and then just spend the whole year just trying to entice Paul George to stay. I don't know what that spells out for Melo. Well, actually, Melo still he got traded, so he doesn't have to decide to stay.
So check this out.
He'll be on for a couple of years.
Check this out. It's funny you mentioned Paul George because there's a key comment that he said that really worries me. He says that he's definitely playing for the MVP this year. If he's playing for the MVP in the West, he's going to have to compete with Kevin Durant, with Curry, with his teammate Russell Westbrook, with James Harden. You really think that's going to – I mean, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. That shouldn't be his main goal.
That sounds fantastic. Derrick Rose said it in 2009, and his team was the number one seed. So you lose absolutely nothing by saying it. You saying I'm going to play for the MVP just means you're going to play, balls to the wall the whole time that you're on the court, and you can do absolutely everything you can to help the team win. And after seeing somebody win solely on the fact that they average a triple-double, that means that he's going to do everything to contribute in every facet of the game, not just with scoring. I don't see anything wrong with that. And furthermore, anyone who said that at the beginning of the year, they pretty much get the MVP at the end of the year. That's going to be the entire news, the entire narrative for as long as the basketball season is going on. I would not be surprised if reporters ultimately award him with an MVP award.
Yeah, except in the West, there's too much talent. I don't think he's going to get it.
It don't matter.
You can even make a question if he's going to make the All-Star game. Just think about it.
There's no get out of here. Of course he makes the All-Star game.
Dude, think about it. You got Kawhi Leonard over him. You got Kevin Durant over him. James Harden, Steph Curry. That's 4 guys already that's probably going to make the starting team.
He doesn't have to be voted in. He'll still make it. He'll still make it. Come on. I have absolutely no worries that he'll make it. If Chris Bosh made every one of those All-Star teams, why
he was
can't
voted
Paul
in.
George?
Bosh was voted in, though, when he made it.
Well, this guy might be voted in too. I don't know.
All right, let's just agree that Oklahoma City will be better this year, and let's move on to another team.
Yes. How about your makeshift, make-believe team there, the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Correct. The Cavs are not my team. I'm a LeBron fan. I support LeBron. That's it.
All right.
It's all about LeBron.
Gotcha. Well, LeBron is an old man. They made a move. Now it's a lot of looking towards MVP. We got a little bit of going on with Rose and LeBron James. I don't know. The question that's circulating a lot after this move is
it's funny how those man. Look at this, but it's theory time, dude. I swear to God, I think LeBron James, Dwayne Wade already knew that this was going to happen from the get-go. I'm talking to you like from the next day after LeBron lost to the Golden State Warriors. They told this to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving got pissed as fuck, and he's like, man, I'm out. If y'all going to do this, I'm out. And I think that's when it happened because I found it so weird that never, ever, during the regular season playoffs or finals, there was any report of Kyrie Irving feeling bad or any complaints about LeBron, and everything just seemed pretty normal. And then out of the blue, out of nowhere, he's like, I want to trade. So It's kind of fishy. I think he felt a little bit betrayed by LeBron wanting Dwayne Wade back. That would take some of the. That would take all of. That
He
would
want that
yeah.
whole thing back.
Yeah, because look at be real. Even though he would be a bigger piece in the offense than Dwayne Wade would take all his spotlight. Like imagine Dwayne Wade in there with Kyrie Irving. Everybody's gonna talk about Wade and LeBron. Nobody's gonna talk about Kyrie. Kyrie would become Kevin Love. Nobody cares about Kyrie, no matter how good he plays, because that's just how the media works. No matter what the numbers would be. So that's
I
my theory about it.
I heard that over the weekend. That was the feeling towards Paul George. It was media day, and they came out and they're wearing jerseys. And given the fact that Carmelo just came in and he's wearing that new Oklahoma City colors and everything like that, nobody really had any time for Paul George. He was just kind
Star
of sitting
power.
there like, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm
star
Chris Bosh.
power.
I'm Kevin Love.
Exactly, it's star power. The star power is too big. So I think definitely Dwayne Wade would definitely help Cleveland and help LeBron. First of all, the chemistry. People can't are just like undermining how important chemistry is, and these guys have it. Second of all, basketball IQ. Third of all, you have a leader. You finally have a leader in there when LeBron is out of the court or when LeBron has to take a day off. Dwayne Wade doesn't have to put up 25 points with that Cleveland roster for them to win if LeBron is taking a day off.
Or for
Remember,
that, or for that matter, play 82 games there.
play 82 games. Remember, they went 0-7 last year without LeBron James. 0-7 with Kyrie and Kevin Love playing, right? So I definitely trust way more Wade's leadership and how to get everybody ready for a game than Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is going to bring more on the offensive side, of course, but even though Wade is a little bit old in the tooth, how they say, he's a better defender than Kyrie Irving as well. He'll probably
Long in the tooth.
long in the tooth. Yeah, there you go. And he's going to be able to take more days off than he did in Chicago because he's not going to be the $23 million guy, key piece in Chicago like he was. So I really like this, man. And I think it bodes well for Kevin Love as well because now Kevin Love has another guy that's going to get him involved. Yeah, just like Bosh, bro. Just like Bosh.
All right, so speaking of getting people involved, man, a lot of players got involved in the whole taking a knee movement that came as an obvious act of defiance to some of the states. A lot of people are participating, including players, owners, even a Major League Baseball player got involved. Paki, what's your opinion on taking a knee?
Well, I honestly have no problem with NFL players taking a knee, sitting down, holding arms. It's fine. I mean, they're doing this for a purpose. My problem is, though, with what LaShawn McCoy did, stretching in a sarcastic way during the national anthem. That is extremely disrespectful. I don't think there's any room for that anywhere in the United States or any country whatsoever, bro. I swear, if I was like one of his teammates, I would totally lose all respect for him after that, man. I don't think there's any place for that in any professional environment at all. That was horrible, tasteless.
A lot of the things that you hear from people, they usually, you take them from the messenger you get them from, right? LaShawn McCoy is a dude that unprompted went out and said that you shouldn't sign Colin Kaepernick because he's too much of a distraction. And the little thing like, something that should probably fire you up to play better or to do any kind of protest or whatever, you just do this weird act of calling attention like, else is doing. Take a knee as well. Everyone that did something different this weekend just got totally ridiculed. Look at Ray Lewis taking two knees, and now what?
Exactly.
Where do you live? Where are you? Like everyone else did one, you did two. You tried the most flamboyant of everyone out there, and now you're saying, "Oh no, I always take two knees for Jesus." I mean, that's
Yeah,
like Pac saying he always takes two knees for Jesus. I mean, really?
nice one there, man. A nice way to get it back. But yeah,
Ray Lewis
I
is
mean,
so misguided, man. Like, what the heck is this guy talking about? I
if
mean, I think he's well on his way to CTE, bro. I mean, so some of the last things that Ray Lewis was saying, some of those last like motivational speeches and prayers, they were out there, like really out there. Like, what the hell is Ray Lewis talking about?
he's a strong candidate for sure. But it's
Yeah.
like as long as you have a purpose to what you're doing, a defined purpose. Because I never found it disrespectful for you to, take a knee or even sit during the national anthem, given the situation. Because there was some social issues with police brutality and minorities getting suffering a lot of racism. That was real. So,
Well,
but
that's
once you
another
take it to a
point. I
level,
mean, at this point, like nobody has talked about
yeah,
any of these things. What they've said is that taking knees and locking arms in defiance. They're just it's an act of defiance. It's like being bad on purpose. Your mom tells you don't, 10 o'clock, and you're till 10:02, just so you can say, I broke the rules. She'll let you slide, because honestly, they're gonna let these players slide. Nothing bad is gonna happen. But the fact of the matter is, they just wanted to be defiant, and nobody's talking about the purpose. I think this is the first step in the line of just eliminating the entire message.
Yeah. Yeah, they completely shifted the attention from what it originally was. Now it's all about Trump. It's like it's publicity for Trump again. Like I was coming out of the gym. Check this out. I was coming out of the gym this morning, and in the gym there's like a cafe, um, and they had a screen there. Fancy cafes in the morning normally have CNN. And CNN, the title that was reading on it while I was walking away was Donald Trump continues his feud with the NFL. Seriously, CNN? Like, what the fuck? That's not that big a deal. He made his comments, whatever. Everybody held a stance. If that shit rolls on to this Sunday, I think it's ridiculous. Get back to the original purpose of the sitting during the anthem. That's it.
I mean, the comments in the first place were a deflection. The hot topic after these whole UN meetings, and this is unofficial commentators where we talk politics, but the whole thing that's going on here, like whenever I tune in to any TV or headline, an open beef between Donald Trump and the Prime Minister, I think his title is of North Korea. It's a scare all the attention off of that, all of the attention of a poor performance in UN meetings, and focuses all on those sons of bitches and football should be fired. This guy's like, if Cousin Juan were here, he'd blow a gasket. This guy, he's playing with me, them, and all of us, man, we're just following
No,
blindly like slaves. Like it's ridiculous.
not just that. Like, let's be real. Like, now that we got a little bit into politics, he's also standing up for the people that voted for him, because that is a mentality of most of the people that voted for him. So you kind of have to understand where he's coming from. It's all politics for him. He's defending his voters, which is ridiculous because once you become president, once you win an election, you can't just segregate your attention to just your voters. You kind of have to, rule for everybody. But it is what it is. The message is lost. The NFL players have gone way past disrespectful, or NFL player, in LaShawn McCoy. So I don't know. This thing is kind of like just starting to, just getting out of control. I'm not with it anymore.
Well, man, I don't know. I know that knees, it doesn't matter. This will probably get a little bit of attention next week and a little bit after that, and then we're probably again. I mentioned that everyone who did anything different this week, out of in some cases unwanted attention. I am so over the whole Odell P celebration. What the hell, man? This celebration. I think that it was planned. I think that at some point somebody tried to clip a little bit and to make it so that it was able to show it on TV. And now they made up this whole story about, well, you call a bitch. A bitch is a dog. That means that I'm a dog. So amidst all this controversy, something that we miss is the fact that we finally knocked off all the rust and finally had some really good football this weekend. I mean, some of the best games are played, some of the worst games are played, to be quite honest with you, in week 3. Paki, give me your opinion. Best and worst games of this weekend.
Yeah, we're starting to kind of get an image of what these teams are going to shape out to be throughout the season already. If I'm gonna start out with the worst game, I like to give the bad news first. I'd have to say the worst game has to be the Raiders, and I remember Dago spoke pretty highly of the Raiders on last week's episode, man. So very embarrassing that the Raiders did not show up. They simply did not show up. It was a bad game. It wasn't like the Redskins. Well, their defensive line was very, very good. So besides that, it wasn't like the Redskins did anything out of the ordinary. The Raiders just didn't show up. It was frustrating. And it was really bad football. It's not even because I'm a fan. It was just really bad football. And one of the best games, well, coincidentally, I have to give it to you, man, the Giants. The Giants game, even though they lost. That was a really fun game. And the reason why I'm giving it the best game, because there was a lot of other close games, because that Thursday night football between the Rams and 49ers game was also pretty good. But that ending, the rookie kicker hitting a 61-yard field goal to crush Big Blue's dreams. That's epic right there. It's amazing. It's like I don't know why these Giants and Eagles games every certain time have like these magical endings. It's amazing. Sometimes it goes the Giants' ways, sometimes it goes the Eagles' way. This time it went the Eagles' way.
It was you couldn't have scripted it better, honestly, for the Eagles. It was scripted way better than that garbage little script that they want to say about Odell Beckham and his stupid peace celebration. I am so over that crap. It was not creative. It was not funny. It wasn't even clever. He was basically like already squatting, waiting to see whether or not they were going to call back his touchdown. So then he just started crawling, and it seemed, and listen, if this was planned, it was the best acting job I've ever seen. But it seemed like something that he just kind of came up with spur of the moment. I even remember Sterling Shepard running up to him. He was going to celebrate too. When he saw what was going on, Sterling Shepard wanted no part of that garbage. He just turned around and left. A lot of blown calls, a lot of calls that I didn't understand in that game. And particularly, I don't understand what the hell happened there with that whole Sterling Shepard catch. I mean, caught the ball, put 2 feet down, dragged another foot for just in case. Then he falls out of bounds, and when he falls out of bounds, after having drug his foot all over it, holding the ball for like at least 3 seconds, he falls, drops the ball, and is called a non-catch and what would have been a touchdown. And then they just had the worst play calling at the end when they should have been able to push in a couple of touchdowns. But it was like 3 games in one. The Giants absolutely sucked. Then they picked it up, and they looked like playoff Giants. And we had playoff Eli throwing for over 300 yards, and we had the best of Odell Beckham and even Sterling Shepard. And then we went back to a heartbreaker, a kicker that had previously missed a 50-yard field goal, hit a 61-yard field goal in the absolute smallest corner possible of the uprights. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ah, I know that you had your
Uh,
opinion.
the
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
the Sterling Sharp
Shepard.
Shepard catch. The thing with that is, Jay, if you're making a catch while you're falling or not in control of your body, you have to maintain control of the ball as you fall. That's the problem. I mean, imagine a guy makes a diving catch in the field, right? And you fall inbounds, and you catch it. You put your 2 feet down and you fall inbounds, and the ball rolls out. Is it a fumble? It's
You
not a
know what?
fumble.
I
You don't have
normally
possession of the ball.
I normally respect where you're coming from with these, but this part that you're telling me, I just don't get it. I
Uh,
mean, the
you
the
got to come down with the
ground
ball.
the ground knocked the ball out of his hands.
Yeah,
He
but
came
is it
down. He
if
came
you're
down with the
diving for it,
ball.
it's not really possession though.
He
You're
didn't.
like, when do you have
Listen,
possession of
he
it?
didn't even dive. This is the thing. He caught it like this. Like if you're catching a baby, right? He caught it. He had absolute control of it. One step, two step, just in case he drags his toe, and then when he falls over, the action of him falling and hitting the ground is what popped the ball out. He was already out of bounds when he fell. I don't know what that ruling is, but you can't tell me that's not a catch. I mean, how many more steps do you have to take? He was in total control. He didn't even jump for that. He continued stepping. Yeah, I grant you that, but he didn't jump for that ball. He didn't dive for that ball. He stepped on the floor. He basically ran out of bounds in the end zone where he should be able to do so, and then he dropped it. That's ridiculous. Very bad call. And the word.
Regarding Odell Beckham, before you move on, let's stop looking at these guys as imaginary figures of fantasy football, and let's look at them as what they are: men. There is no situation that a grown man, a professional grown man, is supposed to be imitating a dog peeing. Let's forget about football. Let's forget about touchdown celebrations. What is in this guy's head? I mean, I cannot picture myself in any situation where I would imitate a dog peeing. I just can't. It's humiliating. I'm embarrassing my parents.
I don't like it.
Ridiculous.
When I went to the league and he was doing the whip and nay nay, and you see all these other kids getting into it, that's an image that you can market. You can make T-shirts that people would be happy to wear. Are you gonna wear the dog peeing shirt? Because I know I'm not. Granted, I'm wearing a shirt. I'm wearing a shirt right now that has a wiener on it. I understand, but still, I'm not wearing the dog pee shirt. I would wear the Odell Beckham Nike shirt where he's winning nay nay. I will wear the Under Armour shirt with Cam Newton doing the Superman thing. But it's just dumb, man. I don't even know what to pick when it comes to Antonio Brown.
Uh,
I wish they just kind of had that one celebration and roll with it.
if I'm a football player, if I'm Rodgers, and I see a kid in high school or a 10-year-old in junior high school do the discount double check, I'd feel proud of myself. I'd be like, man, look at this kid trying to be like me. That's pretty cool. If I'm Odell Beckham and I see a 10-year-old kid doing a dog peeing, I'd be like, shit, what the fuck did I just do?
Well,
I
let
mean,
me
come,
they'll be the first ones to tell you, we're not role models. We're not here to parent your kids. That's your job.
Yeah,
But
but still,
yeah, I
it's
know.
ridiculous. It's retarded.
It
You,
is. It is. It is dumb. It's a poor choice. And then to come and justify it. Oh, he called me a son of a bitch. So a bitch is a dog. So if I'm a dog, then this is how dogs pee. Come on. I,
and Odell Beckham. What's his name? Chris Harris, the returner, number 17. Chris Harris is it? What is it? If Harris would have done this, nobody
Dwayne
would care.
Harris.
Cause Dwayne Harris, because it's Dwayne Harris or some bum ass receiver. It's freaking Odell Beckham, the biggest wide receiver, the biggest figure in fucking NFL when it comes to wide receiver. Come on, bro. You could do better than that.
Yeah, man. This is not a problem. This is one of those reasons why I don't like Odell Beckham Jr. He's on the Giants. I guess I have to root for him. I'll take touchdowns however I get them, but I can't. I can't. Um, it was the best game, even in a loss, but I had so many emotions, man. At one point, I even stopped watching. I was like, oh, I can't believe this. I absolutely lost my shit when that offensive lineman held on to that 12th man on the field. I was like, come on. I mean, say what you will. That turned the game around. That was it. That was it.
I have to just give a small rant before we move on. Uh,
Make it quick.
can we say that Ben McAdoo's over his head in the Giants? I don't like what he's doing. And I don't like where the Giants are headed at all.
I agree with you.
I don't like it. The record, the 10-win records and stuff like that is kind of hiding his mediocrity. But I don't see Ben McAdoo as a coach that's going to get the Giants into a significant win in the playoffs. He's not built for it. I don't see it. I don't like what he's building. I don't like it. If it
I
was up to
said
me,
I said it last week. You weren't here, but I went off on Ben McAdoo. Um, he's just not equipped to make changes in game.
he's an offensive coordinator.
It's like as the games progress, he takes notes and then he says, "Well, I'll just fix this in the off season." But if this is what we are, he didn't make any significant changes to that offensive line. Eric Flowers needs to get the hell out of Dodge. I mean, I was listening to some radio and I was reading up on Eric Flowers. He used to play right tackle. I mean, why didn't you try him out this week at right tackle? You're just being stubborn for no reason. Eric Flowers does not belong at left tackle. He doesn't belong there. Too many penalties, and when it's not a penalty, they just get right by him. If you're gonna do anything on that offensive line, you should start by moving Eric Flowers. Put him anywhere else. You put Justin Pugh as a right tackle. He's usually your left guard. Just move him over a spot. I know that it's not as easy as I make it sound, but he's closer to his element than putting him all the way on the other side of the field. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. Ben McAdoo. Pfft.
How about something simple? Hey Ben McAdoo, draft or sign a player that can block. That's all you got to do. Tight ends don't block. Running backs don't block. Linemen don't block. I'm telling you this much: the Giants have the best flag football team in all of football. If it was just flag football, they'd be the shiznit.
And you know what? Eli Manning threw an interception and a long pass. If he threw those all the time, I wouldn't be mad. I prefer that interception than the one where he tried to throw short, gets deflected by a lineman, and then that shit goes and gets picked up by God knows who it was. It might have been the corner that was just kind of hanging shallow. Just let him rip, man. This is not Eli Manning. You're not getting the best out of him, and you're not setting him up to for any kind of success. Um, I agree with you that the Giants Philadelphia game was the best game. Um, I think that maybe the just because of the tide switching, the Cincinnati and Green Bay game was a very good and close game. Uh, Controversial calls in Chicago and Detroit, and for me, the worst game, as bad as the Raiders look, was that London game. At least for the Baltimore Ravens, man, they look
Man,
like
they
hot
look bad.
garbage.
They look bad.
Wow.
They look
I
they look so bad. Blake Bortles look good.
I understand that
That's pretty bad.
The Jaguars are playing at home in London, but still, man, it's like wow, you couldn't look any worse. Mercedes Lewis was nobody. He hasn't been relevant since 2011, bro. The first year that I started playing fantasy football was the last time that I heard of Mercedes Lewis. Ever since then, absolutely nothing. Three touchdowns? I thought that the Ravens defense was legendary. Maybe not this year, but traditionally legendary. They got embarrassed. That was a
They,
bad game.
they were playing pretty good until that game. I guess the long trip really screwed them
Well,
up. So
they were undefeated before that, but man, but you know what I gotta say though, I think that the Jacksonville defense is legit. I mean,
oh, it is.
the
I've been saying.
the offense overachieved, but the defense is legit. I mean, they were playing them really hard.
I've been saying this since the beginning. Their defense is easily top 10. You can even consider it top 5 the way they're playing. They have a really good defense, well balanced all across.
Aki, I think we covered all of these topics. I know that we have so much more to talk about, but it's time to eat, man. Feed me like Ezekiel Elliott. We got to eat something here. It's time for the main event. It's time for some fantasy football, baby. And man, whoo, the emotions just keep on coming. Ah, I finally took my first loss. I'll get a chance to dwell on it, man. Maybe not too long, but let's just jump into some of these awards. So the highest score, Adeli smoked us. Mr. Keiko Jones scored 143 points. Everybody showed up for him. Adeli not only gets the high score, he also gets the biggest blowout. He blew out his competitor, a designated car driver. Not a good game for Derek Carr, by the way, by 43.70 points. He just romped all over that team. Good shit for Ali. The low score went to FIBA. FIBA had nobody show up.
God, that team sucks.
In particular, Jay Ajayi. That was your first pick. I know you were expecting big things out of him. He has not performed. I heard that he's nursing an injury. I don't know what you're gonna do here. Currently, FIBA is 1-2. I forget who he beat, but bad crap for him. I don't know what he's going to do there. I would probably trade Ajayi before everybody watches this episode and realize that he's probably going to be dealing with that injury the whole time. And also just the fact that
No bye week. No bye week to heal.
no bye week, and you're playing with Jay Cutler instead of Ryan Tannehill. The mobility of Ryan Tannehill probably opened up some lanes for Jay Ajayi. That's not the case now. When Jay Cutler just kind of drops back and stands absolutely still, you have no threat of defending in any direction other than the quarterback and the running back. So I don't know what to tell you there. The lucky wins goes to 20 plus push up team. 20 plus push up team is the lucky win. 6 teams would have probably beat him. 6 out of the 4 team. That was the lowest scoring of the winning teams. He also got the narrowest win, beating Zeke and Joe by about 4 points. I made some really poor decisions this week, and Dago, my co-host last week, beat me by about 6 points. Good for him, but he would have never done so if I had made some wiser choices. Stupid me. I got to get my game face on this week. So, week 4, man. Ready to get it started?
Yeah, man, I'm excited about fantasy football, bro. Like I've never felt so confident about my team. My team is insanely good. I can't wait. I'm gonna run right to our producer in week 4.
Oh, wow. So, should we start there?
You
So,
want? It's fine.
oh, by all means. So, OBJ squad, the Paki team, is going to be playing against Gotham City Rogues.
Did you get that name, the OBJ squad? By the way, did you get the OBJ squad name? Because I don't think you did.
I don't think I did. Does it have to do
Oh,
with blowjobs?
no, but it actually has to do with wrestling. Back when I was
Ah, the job squad.
yes.
LeBron James.
By the way, did you get the OBJ squad name? Because I don't think you did.
I don't think I did. Does it have to do
Oh,
with blowjobs?
no, but it actually has to do with wrestling. Back when I was
Ah, the job squad.
yes. Ah, there you go.
Ah, gotcha.
I thought you would have gotten it. I mean, it's instead of JOB, it's OBJ, but close enough. Al Snow was a pretty cool wrestler back when I was a kid.
He definitely knew how to give some head.
Yeah, he did. He always walked around with a head. You're right.
Yes, he did. All right, well, this week you're going to trot out Aaron Rodgers against Chicago. Wow, they're projecting 21 fantasy points. I would not be surprised. Aaron Rodgers has been an absolute stud this year. Even in a game where he looked like he was going to take the L, he came back and he just broke the heart of the Cincinnati Bengals. I like Stephon Diggs
Uh,
against Detroit.
yeah, you
O-
do.
Odell Beckham is Odell Beckham is matching up
You know why
against.
I'm saying it.
Yeah, I know. Odell Beckham is matching up against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay last year was a respectable defense. What's going on? Why is everybody treating them like they suck?
No, they still have the same problem, man. Their secondary. Their defense is good up front. Their secondary is not good. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like C.J. Anderson. I don't know if he bounces back from what happened last week. I don't think there was anything physically wrong with him other than the fact that they were just right in the hot hand with Jamal Charles. But you don't bring in Jamal Charles and pay him any amount of money if you're not intending to use him. So it's going to become more of a split backfield. I don't know how I feel about C.J. Anderson. They're projecting 14 fantasy points against the Oakland Raiders. Not really feeling it. Jordan Howard should get his job back, and you pretty much have the best available matchups that you could in your starting lineup. Oh, hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, so I noticed that you changed up almost your entire defensive lineup.
Almost no. The entire defensive lineup.
Well, it didn't seem like they were producing a lot, but at the same time, it didn't. I don't think that's what was hurting your team anyway. It was just,
My
a
team
couple
wasn't
of
hurting
injuries.
anyways. What are you talking about?
We were 2-1.
The week that I lost was against you when you were the high scorer and I was the second high scorer. My team is
Uh,
not hurting. My team is perfectly fine. I changed up the defense because I think I could do better. My sack strategy wasn't working. My pass rusher strategy. So now I went to my DB strategy. Get the pick, take it to the house. I'm going big, baby.
All right, well, let's see what goes on there. Do you see anything breaking the right way so that Gotham City Rose kind of gets the better of you?
Well, if you look through his team, the best chance I think he has is Willie Snead coming back from suspension and toasting the Miami Dolphins. They have problems at corner. That's probably going to be his high score. Maybe Chris Hogan. He's found a role in the Patriots offense, especially when it comes to scoring in the red zone. So those are the two players that kind of worry me the most. But I'm not worried a bit about anybody else. Anybody else on that offense?
Are you high on Willie Snead? Like, let's say you weren't facing Dago, would you still recommend starting Willie Snead coming off suspension? Like, don't you think he
Yes.
has to work his way into the offense?
Nah, man, nah, that doesn't apply much to receivers. I think Willie Snead will find a role right away. Drew Brees will find him because it's Drew Brees. That's the thing. If you're talking about a receiver that's going to go back to with a rookie quarterback or with Josh McCown or whatever, but it's Drew Brees, man. Willie Snead looked really nice last year. I like the role he will have in this offense, and I'm really excited. I actually had him pretty high on my draft board, even though he was suspended. I just couldn't get him. But I'm high on Willie Snead for sure.
Well, Dago's sitting Amari Cooper in order to start Willie Snead, so I hope that strategy pays off.
Well, Amari Cooper is going against the no-fly zone, so I can't blame him. Even though Amari Cooper has a 20-point game, I can't blame him for that move. I'd probably do the same thing.
All right, the next matchup I want to talk about is the ATL fucking Falcons playing against the motherfucking friend zone. These guys are dropping a lot of f bombs over here. The friend zone currently sits at 1-2. ATL Falcons are at 2-1. What do you think of the friend zone and why they could possibly win this matchup?
F-bomb bowl. Man, I am going with the friend. I'm putting the friend zone to win this matchup. Write it down there. Put it there.
All right.
Yeah, man, I am. I really like Matthew Stafford, even though it's against Minnesota. Matthew Stafford is coming up big. If you're watching the games, Matthew Stafford is playing so much better than his actual stat line. It's amazing. I love what he's doing. I love what Jim Bob Cooter. Isn't that the coolest name for an offensive coordinator? Jim Bob Cooter. It's fucking
He's,
awesome. It's like you were born to be a football coach. Jim Bob Cooter.
I would have thought tractor farmer, but hey,
Yeah,
that's just me.
Jim Bob Cooter's done a great job with Stafford, man. I love it. So the
Tractor
thing,
farmer by day and gynecologist by night.
football coach in the afternoon. Yeah, the thing is that the Atlanta fucking Falcons are facing the Buffalo Bills, and I think the Buffalo Bills have been disrespected and undermined a bit. I blame I've been one of those. They are maybe better than what we thought they are, especially on defense. They look pretty good. So I think the Falcons, not that the Falcons will lose to the Bills, but fantasy wise, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Tevin Coleman, Austin Hooper. Maybe one of those four guys hits. And then you're probably gonna have three duds. So I'm gonna go with the motherfucking Falcons.
Friend zone.
Oh, yeah, motherfucking friend zone. Oh, shit. I'm
Well,
sorry.
they're not separated by many points, and currently, if friend zone is watching this, you haven't picked up a kicker yet, so you have an open position there. Might want to fill that before game starts. When he puts in that kicker, that score is going to get a whole lot closer. Um, Now, I see two players here that might cancel each other out. Right now, Friendzone is starting Kelvin Benjamin and Julio Jones. He was nursing a back injury. Dan Quinn said it wasn't serious, but we still got to see. He's still projecting a lot of fantasy points. I don't think he meets that criteria, but keep an eye on both those players. Tevin Coleman, you need to find another definite replacement at running back. You know what? I don't think that Ivan has made any changes to his lineup ever since drafting. He auto
Oh,
drafted. On
yep.
top of that, I don't think he's setting his lineup. He hasn't had to. I mean, all these players have played every week. I'm going to see if there's any difference when bye week comes around next week.
Yeah, he is
But
setting his lineup because I remember he started like Garrett Blunt one week, and now he's benching him. So, but he hasn't made any moves.
okay, well, take that for what you will.
Jeremy, his
I
team, I think, won also.
I'm not as down as you in this. Again, I don't like the running backs for the ATL and Falcons, but I think he has enough at receiver where it overshadows that deficiency. Kelvin Benjamin has been a dud all year. He's injured. He may not make it to the game. He had a really big injury. And I also think on the friend zone side that Deshaun Jackson does not repeat the performance he had last week, especially against the New York Giants. They're pretty good, unless he gets
Yeah.
matched up with Eli Apple, that bum.
Yo, if Landon Collins lands just one hit on Deshaun Jackson, just one hit, Deshaun Jackson is not going to continue that game. Landon
I
Collins is a beast.
I have a tendency to agree with you there. With all those things considered, I'm going to go ahead and pick the ATL fucking Falcons in this one.
All right, man, cool.
We didn't make any picks for the first one. I got your team, man. I assume you got your own team?
Of course, I have my own team.
All right.
My team is way too complete, bro. It's like it has everything.
All right. Well, two teams now are going to battle it out. I have Mr. Keiko Jones playing against the 20 plus push up team. This team, or these teams rather, they match up pretty well. I was scared is not the word, but I thought that we should keep an eye on the 20 plus push up team. It looked on paper as a really complete team. It hasn't really fared that way. I guess not everyone has brought their best performance forward every week coming into this. But let me just go over this very briefly. So Drew Brees, you start no matter what against Miami. Start him. He's going to torch. Jordy Nelson, as long as he's healthy, you start him. Favorable matchup against Chicago. I like it. I don't like the role of Marvin Jones. I don't like DeMarco Murray getting constantly usurped by the younger. Help me out with the name here. Derrick Henry. Carlos Hyde. I'm bigger on Carlos Hyde than I was before. I think that I thought that they were going to focus more on the fact that he's the only positive in that offense. But the fact of the matter is, Carlos Hyde always seems to get banged up just a little bit. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to call it. I think that those five up top are probably enough to beat Mr. Keko Jones. But listen, Mr. Keko Jones is undefeated, I believe. I'm going to double check that for you on the air as we speak. Or what's going on here?
While you check that out, I'm gonna give you my pick. How
3 and
about
0. He's the first overall in the league. He's had highest score twice already. I think he already has two biggest blowout awards. Ali is running on all cylinders. I might want to take that back before this is all said and done. But go ahead. Right now, I'm going with 20 push-ups.
I'm gonna go with Mr. Keko Jones, and it's not even because of all that stuff you said. It's because um, he has a very important player on defense coming back from suspension, and Vontaze Burfict versus Cleveland. I can see Burfict have a 10 tackle game,
My favorite player on defense.
a sack, two passes defended, a forced fumble, probably a fumble recovery.
A
You
plate
know
of
that,
chicken wings on the sideline.
yeah, that's probably like fucking 20 points already. And Chris Thompson is a beast for Washington. So Rob Gronk, I love it. Gillislee, I love it. Devontae Parker versus the worst secondary in the entire NFL, the New Orleans Saints. I'm going with Mr. Keko Jones on this one, buddy.
He has some scattered pieces, and I don't know if Gillisley. I mean, that team is kind of running on all cylinders. But you know what? For the sake of controversy, I'm going to take the other side. I'm going 20 plus push-ups regardless.
Yeah, you already said can't change it.
That's I could change it. I mean, as
Fuck that.
long as as long as I wrapped up this episode, I can change whatever the hell I want. But I'm sorry. You are taking Keko, and I'm taking 20 plus. All right. Do 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 do. Hey, would this be a good time to tell people where to follow us?
Yeah, man. They can follow us UC underscore podcast on Twitter and Instagram, which has been fire lately, thanks to my boy J Ocho. Unofficial commentators, look up on Instagram. Of course, you can listen to this episode audio version on SoundCloud, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Notification button on.
Click that little bell. I want to talk about the JJ Novelcho team. Violent Mambo this week plays against Rubber Dukes. So I'll let you praise me a little bit. Talk about Violent Mambo.
I don't want to really praise you on this one. I mean, do I have to?
I have the best player in fantasy, Kareem, probably in the entire NFL.
Yeah, I'm
Love me,
still
Kareem Hunt.
confident. I'm still confident about my bet with Dalvin Cook. I'm not even scared.
I think I'm up by like 60 points.
Yeah, because you had a 140 point game.
And then a 30-point game, and then another close to 30-point game.
So
Uh,
that's not.
no problem. Yeah.
All right, man. I actually like put up your dukes on this one, bro. I'm
Ooh.
not feeling Kendall Wright. He's the drop master. Probably got the worst drop syndrome in the fucking NFL after Amari Cooper right now. And Lamar Miller, man, I don't know what to expect from Lamar Miller. Dante Foreman is taking more carries away from him every game, so you better watch out there, man. Uh, you have two really big guys, two guys that really I'm not really sold on. On the other side, though, put up your dukes. I think they're a little more solid. So I'm gonna go put up your dukes on this one. I'm sorry, bro. No disrespect towards you.
It's okay, man. I'm all out, overcoming adversity. By the way, Ben Roethlisberger is playing away. He's going to be playing in Baltimore after they got embarrassed. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up a dud. Not even hurt in this game. I can't call it an injury. That's not something you call like calling a touchdown or an interception. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go so hard after Ben Roethlisberger they hurt him. Alshon Jeffrey, he has a game, he doesn't have a game. I hope he does well. Just well enough to lose to me. Mike Evans, he hasn't been the guy expected. Mike Evans has a tough match against New York. Dalvin Cook, well, Dalvin Cook could have a good game, but on the other end, I have Kareem Hunt. So,
Alvin Cook
hey,
versus Kareem Hunt.
we're going to see him head to head. Duke Johnson had a really good game last week. I don't see him having two great games in a row. And Travis Kelce's a scary one. He's a scary one for me to having to go against him. Travis Kelce could break out the game because, they spread love around. And unless it's Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt doing their thing, I think Travis Kelce gets in on the game this week.
Okay.
All that being said, this is not what I'm going to send out a final lineup. I am going to make a move. Yes, Kendall Wright, don't like him. I picked him up basically because I need receiver help after losing Anderson for the year. And Kendall Wright, he's supposed to be the feature wide receiver on that team, but that team's not passing. They're doing everything on the ground. And Jordan Howard coming back and being healthy this week, practicing every day, it does not bode well for any Chicago wide receivers.
They are passing. It's just they don't catch it.
They're not passing enough. I mean, I'm seeing 100-plus yard games from the running backs.
As a
Almost.
coach, as a football coach myself, sorry to interrupt you. When you're trying to pass the ball and wide open receivers are dropping the ball, it really affects your confidence as a play caller. And then you just start calling stuff for your running backs. I've been there. It's happened to me myself. So,
All right, well, I'm picking Mambo. You're picking Dukes. Let's see how we come out on the other end of that one.
all right.
All right.
So what's the next matchup, dude? What the fuck?
Oh. Well, the next matchup, Paki, thank you for asking, is Marshawn of the Dead versus Zeke and Joe Punch-A-Ho. Zeke and Joe Punch-A-Ho, man, they have not been the team we expected. Um, there is some hidden talent there. There's some gems, but they don't seem to put it together. In particular, Phillip Rivers, he's kind of stunk up the joint a couple of times. Um, Victor's kind of stretching there to pick up a lot of like sleepers and possible breakout stars. But like I mentioned earlier, they don't seem to get it all together one day. I absolutely hate Eric Ebron. I don't know why you have him on your team. Um, Austin Safari and Jenkins, they keep talking about him like he's some really big player, but then he comes out and flops. I know that both of these guys are into the trolling game. They're not showing us who their starting, players are going to be.
Right.
But I'm going to look into his bench and kind of look at what you could potentially start. So Brandon Cooks against Carolina, you have to start him. It looks like he finally found something. He got something going there with Tom Brady. He's not getting all the yards that I want of him, but as long as he gets touchdowns, that's all you really keep for asking is Marshawn of the Dead versus Zeke and Joe Punch-A-Ho. Zeke and Joe Punch-A-Ho, man, they have not been the team we expected. Um, there is some hidden talent there. There's some gems, but they don't seem to put it together. In particular, Philip Rivers, he's kind of stunk up the joint a couple of times. Um, Victor's kind of stretching there to pick up a lot of like sleepers and possible breakout stars. But like I mentioned earlier, they don't seem to get it all together one day. I absolutely hate Eric Ebron. I don't know why you have him on your team. Um, Austin Safari and Jenkins, they keep talking about him like he's some really big player, but then he comes out and flops. I know that both of these guys are into the trolling game. They're not showing us who their starting, players are going to be.
Right.
But I'm going to look into his bench and kind of look at what you could potentially start. So Brandon Cooks against Carolina, you have to start him. It looks like he finally found something. He got something going there with Tom Brady. He's not getting all the yards that I want of him, but as long as he gets touchdowns, that's all you really care about. Joe Mixon is getting more usage in Cincinnati. Cincinnati has something to play for. They're playing against another home state rival and what they consider a weaker opponent. So Joe Mixon, look for the romp and stop in that game. Keenan Allen is Keenan Allen for whatever that's worth. Chris Carson has seen an improved role in Seattle. It looks like they're ready to move on from Rawls and Procise and Eddie Lacy, and they're going to key in or focus on Chris Carson as the main back. So another player to watch. And it looks like I'm just reading names off of here. I'm sorry to do that. I know I just want to highlight a few of them, but there's a lot of good matchups here. I even like Thielen. Thielen playing against Detroit has he has a potential for a big play. Case Keenum, who was the reason why we normally kind of dropped these players, he came out and balled last week. If he can have even 70% last week, we should be in for a good game. All of the receivers over in Minnesota, and not to mention if Dalvin Cook gets it going, then everybody gets in on the game.
So who you have at the end? Who did you pick?
Oh man, it's just so hard to pick against Marshawn of the Dead. I was gonna let you talk about it, but there's this. The three-headed running back in this situation is the only situation where it works when you have three studs in fantasy football: Gurley, Lynch, and LaShawn McCoy.
LaShawn McCoy. All right, well, I'll help you out with that. I'm going with Zeke and Joe Puncho because Marshawn of the Dead has been very dependent on two Oakland Raiders for his wins, Marshawn Lynch and Michael Crabtree. Michael Crabtree got smoked in a pass that Derek Carr put him to sail. So he sailed the pass. He made Michael Crabtree jump in traffic. He got blown up. His chest is hurt. And on top of that, he's facing Denver. So even if he's healthy, he's probably going to have to go up against the keep to leap. Marshawn Lynch, I don't know how much he can run the ball against Denver. This is going to be interesting. But regardless of how they do, the question is, does he have the guts to start him versus Denver? So these two players who have been a key part of this team are not going to be, or might not be contributors this week. So I'm going to go with Zeke because of this.
Oh man, as much as I would hate to go against Victor. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna continue the trend of picking against you. I'm gonna go with Marsh of the Dead, man. It's just too much to overcome there. I understand your point on Crabtree, but everyone else is it's just so tough. These matchups, man. So loyal. Blah, 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 blah. He's playing against the creatively titled Joel Vasquez's team.
Man, I love how you say that, and I couldn't say it myself any better, for sure. No, man, but I'll simply talk about who I'm picking in this matchup and why I'm picking in this matchup. I'm going with a solo oil. I'm going with that because Joel Vasquez's team is horrible. It sucks. I'm never picking him. But I love Tyreek Hill, man. I hate him because he's a chief. But fantasy-wise, this guy's a stud. Le'Veon Bell is a matter of time before he blows up. I know a lot of people are worried. He's out of shape. He was out of football shape. He was out of hold whatever. He had 18 points last week. I don't care if it's against Baltimore. It's a matter of time before he gives a big 20-point game, man. And Ty Montgomery versus Chicago, he's gonna find pay dirt, man. So I'm sticking with so loyal.
I see all those points, but he might get 10 points combined from his quarterback and Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor has not figured out all into that offense. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, he was such a versatile player in Cleveland. He did everything for them, and now he can't find a single role in Washington. I'm sorry. Um, on the other hand, I like Winston. I like Green. I like Fournette. Giovanni Bernard. I do not like the running back situation in Cincinnati, and it looks like he's going to lose more and more touches to Joe Mixon. Yes, Joe Mixon. I'm sorry, drawing a binder. Look for a big Demaryius Thomas game, but even then, I think that's enough to overcome. I am to also pick. So
All right.
So that's what we agree on. Okay, I think the only team I haven't talked about yet are some of the lower scoring teams here. This might be the low score bowl. We got the designated car driver playing against the FIBA.
I'll make it simple, bro. I'm not even gonna get it. I'm not gonna waste any time on this. I'm taking designated car driver. FIBA's team is horrible. The receivers are bad. The running backs are bad. They got Tom Brady. I don't like that team, man. I don't like FIBA. It's the worst team in this league, and it's very weird. I expect a lot much more from Gary. He is one of our best experts. He really knows his stuff. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if it was auto draft, he just drafted drunk or whatnot. I just don't like this team, man, at all.
Well, for what it's worth, I mean, I think he drafted based on what he thought would have been larger projections. They just haven't panned out. Tom Brady put up a stinker in the first week. After that, he's been money, but then everyone else just kind of sucks. Like I mentioned earlier, Ajayi not really performing up to his standards. I think Quiz Rogers has one more week to prove himself. After that, it's going to be Doug Martin time. And Jimmy Graham, everybody was talking about how he's finally made a connection with Russell Wilson. That hasn't been the case. So that is not a favorable matchup. I don't like how designated car driver is giving up on Derek Carr. It looks, at least for the moment, like he's going to go ahead and start Dak Prescott. Fact of the matter is, though, I don't think he has any good choices or good options in terms of who he's playing against. You got Prescott playing against the Los Angeles Rams, who really know how to rush the passer, and then we have Carr against the Denver Broncos. So, you kind of toss a coin in the air and hope for the best. He's going with Prescott this week. I don't totally blame him. Love his receivers. That's brought Michael Thomas. Man, I really need some receiver help. I would do just about anything for him. And at least for this week, you might get another decent performance out of Buck Allen.
Yeah.
James White, I don't like. Miracle, I don't like. I don't know what you're doing there with your running backs, but do something.
I don't think he gave up on Derek Carr per se. I think it's just Derek Carr's going up against Denver,
Yeah,
and we already know what that defense can do. And they're coming from a loss, so they're probably going to come guns blazing now.
yeah, this is true. And I mean, the Raiders are coming from a loss. I don't think they can be that bad 2 games in a row.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. You're right. Both of these teams are coming. None of these teams showed up last week. Neither of them. Two of the top-ranked teams in the AFC, and both of them look like freaking dwellers. So I don't know, man. It is going to be It's going to be interesting. But I don't know, that Denver defense is intimidating.
All right, so you picked up car driver. I picked up car driver as well. These won't be matches that'll make up any
I would only pick FIBA versus Joel Vasquez. That's the only matchup where I would pick. That's it.
week indeed. Man, I was hoping that nobody noticed this, but Zeke and Joe Punch a Hoe just got into me. He picked up Will Fuller the fifth. Will Fuller the fifth is looking to make a comeback really soon, if not next week. This week, the next. That was definitely something I had an eye on in terms of picking up a wide receiver. I really need receiver help. If someone out there is listening to the show and they're smarter than I am, help me. Help me understand. I need receiver help. I picked up John Brown, hoping that maybe the Arizona just kind of turns its tides a little bit and he works out a little better, but I need me some help.
Well, trades and receivers are the easiest thing to find in fantasy football, man. What are you talking about? There's a bunch out there just sitting there in the waiver wire. Just
need some help, man.
Just pick one up.
Anyway, dude, we've been doing this for a long time. Not that it wasn't fun as hell, but I
think it was
for us to sign off. So again, thank you to everyone who watched the show. There is a show that just dropped yesterday or 2 days ago. By the time you hear this show, it was the UFC show with our special guest from the Bloody Elbow. So check that one out while you wait for the new episode of the Unofficial Commentators to drop. Again, we're on YouTube, Unofficial Commentators. You can find us on Instagram at Unofficial Commentators. We're at UC_podcast on Twitter. We are on the Facebook Commentators, on SoundCloud, Official Commentators. We were teachers at Unofficial Commentators, working on a little logo for Unofficial Commentators. I'm Unofficial Commentator. Paki's Unofficial Commentator. Together, we're Unofficial Commentators. Woo, man.
Yeah, just before I sign off my comment, I want to make a correction. Earlier, I said that Yankees, if they win the wild card, they would face Boston. That was my mistake. That must be the Tigers talking. Boston would be the number 3 seed. They would actually go with the number 1 seed, which is Cleveland. So it'll be fun because everybody's going to think if New York Yankees beat Cleveland, they're going to be a World Series contender. But chances of that happening are the same chances of FIBA beating designated car driver. It's not going to happen. Wild card is your World Series, Yankee fans. Go for it.
All right, if you have anything to say, hit us on the email. We're unofficialcommentary@gmail.com. There's also the comment sections at the bottom of all of our YouTube videos. So save your comments for there or forever hold your peace.
I bet you one of these douches is going to say, while they're listening to this, they're going to say, hey, Paki, you got it wrong on the wild card game versus the number 1 seed. Whatever. Peace!